Today, I manage over 6 million in investments, but my journey started with just $50 per week. I'm about to share with you the 10 lessons that took me from food stamps to financial freedom by age 38. Look, growing up in poverty taught me more about money than any finance class ever could. I learned the hard way that traditional financial advice keeps most people working well past 65, but there's a better way. If you're a working professional in your 20s or 30s making $75,000 to $250,000 but still feeling stuck, these lessons will completely change how you think about building wealth. So let's start with the most important lesson I learned about building wealth. One that's obvious to many but practiced by few. Lesson number 1, never underestimate the power of daily actions. Let me tell you how I built my first $1 million. It didn't start with a high-paying job or an inheritance. It started with just $50 per week and one simple decision. You see, when I first started investing, I made less than $50,000 a year, and every financial advisor told me to wait until I made more money. But I noticed something interesting. My colleagues making six figures were just as broke as I was. The difference? I had committed to just investing $50 a week, every single week, no matter what. No excuses. When my car broke down, even during the 2008 crash, even when everyone said it was pointless. After 6 months, I had $1,000. After 2 years, I had $10,000. After 5 years, 6 figures. Today, I manage over 6 million in assets. The secret wasn't the amount, it was about the consistency. So your daily money habits matter more than your salary. Small, consistent actions compound into life-changing results, no question about it. But consistency alone isn't enough. You need to know when to take smart risks. So that brings us to lesson number 2. Smart risks create wealth. The biggest mistake I see professionals make isn't investing too aggressively, it's playing it too safe. When I decided to start my investment advisory business on the side, everybody thought I was crazy. I had a family, a mortgage, a steady paycheck from my engineering job, but relying on that job was actually riskier. My income was capped, my time wasn't mine, so I did my research, built an emergency fund, and started my business on the side. This risky move doubled my income in just 2 years. Now I see this pattern with all my successful clients. The biggest gains come from calculated risks, whether that's investing during market crashes, starting a business, or switching careers. Not taking any risks is the riskiest risk of all. Smart risks backed by research and planning, that creates wealth. Now, if these lessons resonate with you and you're ready to take action, I've created something special. It's a 5-day email crash course that shows you exactly how to start implementing these principles into your life. And here's what you'll learn. So day 1, the 3 most important things about investing that nobody tells you about. Day 2, how to avoid the 3 costly mistakes most new investors make. Day 3, your step-by-step guide to making your first investment today. And day 4, upgrades to triple your wealth building speed. So some upgrades. Day 5, the best practices for long-term investing success. Plus, when you sign up for the crash course, you'll also get my free fire starter community. It's a private group of professionals who are all on the path to financial independence. And inside, you'll get a bonus course to help you get started on your journey to financial independence, weekly webinars, and a supportive community with like-minded professionals. All you need to get access is just click in the description below. It's completely free and you can unsubscribe anytime. All right, let's get back to it. So speaking of smart moves, let's talk about the biggest wealth killer I see every day. Let's talk about lesson number 3, unnecessary spending. It's the silent wealth killer. So most people think about building wealth and they think it requires making more money. But here's what I learned from going from basically nothing to financial independence. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. And so I see professionals all the time making $200,000+ a year, living paycheck to paycheck. They're trapped in this upgrade cycle: bigger house, newer car, fancier vacation. Meanwhile, I drive a Ford Escape and I live in a modest 1960s split level while building my business. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. You manage millions. Why do you drive a Ford Escape? It's because every dollar spent on things you don't need is a dollar that could be building your freedom. And so here's the math. That $500 to $1,000 monthly car payment invested over 10 years becomes $100,000 to $200,000 with compound interest. Every dollar you don't spend buys your freedom. And what could be a better return on your investment than that? So here it is. Your spending habits have more impact on your wealth than your income because your habits follow your income. So focus on what matters, not status. With these smart decisions, you need to learn also from the right people. So lesson number 4 is choose your financial mentors wisely. Most people giving financial advice these days haven't built real wealth themselves. They're selling dreams, not proven strategies. Early in my career, I was bombarded with advice: buy crypto, day trading, flip real estate with no money down. And I noticed something: the loudest voices often had the smallest portfolios. So my real first mentor was actually just a retired engineer who had built a $3 million portfolio on a modest salary using index funds. No fancy strategies, no social media presence, just proven methods and that were applied consistently. He taught me more in one lunch than I learned from years of reading financial blogs. Today, I see clients waste years following influencers that make money off their courses, not with their investments. All right, so one client even lost $50,000 following this crypto guru's advice before switching to just a simple index strategy. Now she's on track to retire early. So here's the deal. Learn from people who have actually built wealth, not from those who just talk about it. So this leads me to my next lesson. Lesson number 5. It's never too late to change course. The reset button is always available. One of the most successful clients I have started his journey at age 35, thinking he had missed his chance entirely. He had $10,000 in credit card debt and at least a dozen accounts with no clear strategy or direction. Society told him he would work until he was 70 easily. But here's what we discovered. Starting late with the right strategy beats starting late with the wrong one. We created a debt payoff plan, optimized his tax strategy, and built a systematic investment approach. Now he's on track to be debt-free with a $400,000 focused portfolio. He'll reach financial independence by 55, 10 years earlier than traditional retirement age. And I've seen this pattern repeatedly. A 40-year-old that outperforms a 30-year-old because they follow proven strategies instead of just chasing trends. And so your past financial mistakes don't determine your future. Every day is a new opportunity to make better decisions. But to make these decisions stick, you need to understand why you're making them, which brings me to lesson number 6. Money without meaning is empty. Building wealth isn't about the numbers, it's about the impact you can create and the freedom you can achieve. I used to think financial independence was about having a big number in my account, but watching my parents struggle taught me something profound. Money is just a tool for creating the life you want. My happiest clients aren't the ones with the biggest portfolios. They're the ones who use their wealth to make a difference. Take Tim, a client who built a business and reached financial independence in his 50s. Instead of buying a luxury car in his 20s or even his 30s, even though he could afford it, he started a foundation helping cancer survivors get the assistance and the treatment they need. Now he has it all. He has a profitable business, several fancy cars, and a life full of purpose. True wealth isn't about your net worth. It's about having freedom to live a life of purpose. Speaking of change, let's talk about who's really responsible for your financial future. Lesson number 7. own your financial future. Nobody is coming to save you financially. Not the government, not your employer, not your family. I learned this standing in line for food stamps when I was younger. Most people wait for external solutions, a raise, an inheritance, or winning the lottery. But the truth is brutal. Those who achieve financial independence take full ownership of their situation. When I started managing investments, I saw two groups of people, two types. The first group blamed everything, the market, the boss, the economy, and they stayed stuck. The second group takes responsibility and finds solutions. One client faced a 50% pay cut during COVID. Instead of waiting for help, she built 3 income streams within 6 months. Today, she's making more than before the cut. Another started investing during the 2020 crash, while others waited for the right time. His portfolio is up significantly while others are still waiting. Taking responsibility for your financial future is both terrifying but liberating. It puts you in control, and sometimes that control comes in unexpected places, like failure. That brings us to lesson number 8. Financial struggles build financial strength. So those early days not having money taught me more about money management than those finance classes. Most people try to avoid hardship at all costs, but I've noticed something fascinating. Most of my successful clients are often those who faced early money struggles. Take Mark, for instance, a client that lost everything in 2008. Instead of giving up, he used that experience to build multiple income streams and create an unshakable investment strategy. During the 2020 crash, while others were panicking, he stayed calm. He'd been through worse. His portfolio, now worth millions. My dad turned a layoff into a motivation to start learning a new skill. Today, he works part-time and goes to school to learn welding at age 60. So here's the deal. Hard times sometimes forge resilient money habits. Your struggles become your strengths. But to leverage those strengths, you need absolute clarity about where you're going. And so lesson number 9 is clarity creates progress. Most people have vague financial goals, like retire comfortably or build wealth. That's exactly why they stay stuck. I see this with new clients all the time. They work hard but have little progress because they're aiming at a moving target. When I start working with somebody, the first thing we do is we calculate their financial independence retire early number. This is the amount that they need to make work optional. One client thought she needed like $5 million to retire. After we ran the numbers, her real number was actually close to 1.8 million. She'll reach her financial goals 20 years sooner than she thought. Another client was saving randomly until we created monthly targets with clear numbers. He tripled his savings rate without changing his income. The difference? Crystal clear targets and a concrete plan to reach them. When you know your exact numbers, the path becomes clear. Vague goals create vague results. But even with clear results, you need to keep learning and adapting, which is why lesson 10 is super important. Never stop learning. The financial world keeps evolving, and so should your knowledge. I spent an hour every day studying, even after reaching financial independence. Many people think that they can learn the basics and just coast, but markets change and strategies evolve, technologies emerge. The most successful investors never stop learning. Warren Buffett, for instance, still reading 500 pages a week at age 90. One of my friends, both he and his wife are successful doctors. They learned how to invest in real estate, and now their real estate business creates more passive incomes than both their salaries combined. An investment advisor peer of mine, a software engineer who developed carpal tunnel, like he can't type anymore, now manages over $40 million in assets because he took the time to learn about tax harvesting and investing. The difference? Continuous education. Every successful person I know shares this one habit. They treat their financial education as important as their professional education. And so your wealth grows in proportion to your knowledge. Stay curious, stay learning. Financial independence isn't about getting lucky or knowing some secret formula. It's about making intentional choices every day. staying consistent with proven strategies, and having the courage to take smart risks when opportunities arise. Start with $50 if that's all you have. Just start. So if you like these lessons and you found them valuable, please do me a favor, hit subscribe. Join me next week for more practical strategies to build real wealth and make work optional. I'm Justin Saffel, and I'll see you in the next video.